Hey folks, welcome to the Do-It-Yourself Dad channel and welcome to the new show on the channel called Shop Talk. This is the show where every couple of days we put out a new show and we talk about something in the shop, whether that's a tool or a product or a how-to video on a basic thing you would be doing around your garage or shop. Now these are in addition to the videos we put out, which are the big tutorial videos and the how-tos, so be sure to check those out. But if you want to learn something new every week, hit that subscribe button because that's what we're doing. Now, if you're watching this as the video comes out, this is smack in the middle of the quarantine of 2020. If you're watching this in the future, hooray, we made it. So let's get started. Last week we talked about soldering. We talked about all this equipment, and this week we are going to talk about solder seal connectors. Those are these. And if you are like me, these things have been spammed all over your Facebook feed, all over my Instagram feed. I keep seeing these things pop up, and they keep talking about how amazing these things are, and they're the solution to soldering. So what they are is it's a splice. You put two wires together, you heat it up. It's got a very, very low temperature solder in there that melts, and it's got two little rings on either side that are supposed to make a watertight seal. Now, I bought a set of these things, and I gotta tell you, I'm not impressed. I would rather do all this stuff. I put a stereo in my car using these. There is that video down in the description. You can check it out. I did use them. They do work, but they're not as easy as the video makes it seem. So let's jump in. I'm gonna show you how I've used them and my experience with them, what they do and what they don't. These might be the right thing for your job, they just weren't the right thing for mine. So let me show you how they are supposed to work and the experience I've had with them, and you can judge for yourself. So let's show you what is in the box. So when you get these things, it does come with a fair amount of connectors, which is nice. It has everything down from these little tiny ones for real small applications, all the way up to pretty large connectors. Now, if you notice in here, I'm gonna do the first demonstration here with a heat gun, and they show you using a heat gun. Now in the video, they show you using a lighter, and I've tried both. So I've pulled out the largest here, and we're gonna use some pretty large wire so you can see what I'm doing. So let's jump over here. And the way they advertise you doing this, the way they show you in all the videos, is you slip this over one end, you get it through that middle piece right there, and then you put the other side through, and you kind of jam them together. So we've got those two together. They are stuck together really solid because I really don't think I could fit a much larger wire inside that. Now, for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to put it in these clamps so you can see what's going on. And let's get that heat gun in there. Okay, I'm gonna call it quits here. In the amount of time it took me to kind of maybe melt that low temperature solder, I could have used an actual soldering iron, gotten the job done, left and got a cup of coffee, come back, and this still wouldn't be a good solder joint. That solder in the middle is still not melted completely. We don't have a hot connection there. We have a cold joint. So right there, the whole idea of being able to use a heat gun, at least on larger diameter wire, bogus. Now let's try this on a smaller diameter wire. We're gonna do it with the heat gun again. Okay, we're back. So I've got some smaller diameter wire here because I figured we're gonna give this stuff a fair shake. That was a lot of mass to heat up. So let's get the heat gun going again, just like they claimed in the box, and turn around and see how long it takes. Okay, so we did actually get a decent solder there, which is better than the last one. It actually did heat up the middle, but it still took a fair amount of time. Now I'm gonna show you one other problem I had with these. Now, if you are doing this and you don't have something to hold it in place, like if I'm soldering inside the dashboard of my car, I can touch my soldering iron to it and almost instantly it's cooled off. But because this is low temp solder, let me show you one of the problems I ran into. This stuff, if it's still hot, it takes a while for it to cool off. It doesn't hold itself together. It just pulls apart. You have to wait for this stuff to get completely cool. So it takes much longer. You have to stand there holding this stuff, but how are you gonna hold it? You were holding this thing and trying to hold these two wires. So to me, this just doesn't make sense. Now, let me show you the other thing that they show you in the video is they show you doing this, but they show you doing it with a cigarette lighter. So let's take this one, let's put it back in the clamp. Now let's grab a lighter and see what happens. Let's get the lighter going. I can hear it sizzling, I can hear the insulation popping, but I don't see any melting. I'm gonna stop here and we're gonna flip this thing over. I'm gonna show you. That's what your joint looks like. You still don't have a solder joint. It still didn't melt any more solder, but now we're burning the insulation. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I would never really want to use these. I used the heat gun on the small ones in my car and it was kind of doable, but it was still a huge pain. And the whole time I was tempted to go grab my soldering iron and do it the right way and do it quicker. So I haven't found anybody who really loved these things, but they're marketing them like crazy. And I just wanted to put out this video to warn you all, maybe it works for your application. And if it does, please go down below and let me know what that application is, because I haven't found it yet in my shop. So if this video helped you out at all, give me a great big thumbs up down below. Look at that. There's no joint there. So anyway, if this video did help you out at all, go down below, give me a great big thumbs up. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know if there's other stuff you'd like me to test out in the garage for you. And of course, thanks for watching.